One of Denver's busiest intersections has an unwanted new art installation thanks to vandals. It illustrates the difficulty the city has in getting control of problem buildings. Here's Mark Salinger.
Thousands of people do have to look at this every day.
The building at 123 Spear Boulevard doesn't have long to live. For a space with so much history, David Wise knows it's waiting for its inevitable death.
Brutalism is the title of the era and the description of this type of architecture.
He's an architect who tried to stop this from happening.
You know, I had to make my presentations to the Landmarks Commission. I had to make my presentations to City Council.
His petition to designate the former Channel 7 building as a historic landmark failed. The news station sold the land to developers for $35 million and moved out in July. The vandals quickly moved in.
I've already grieved. I knew this building's going to be lost. So now it's a matter of how can we as a community in a city think about these things, anticipate these circumstances, and handle them much better.
I think it looks terrible. I think it says to people visiting our city that we don't care about our city.
Denver City Councilwoman Amanda Sawyer has a name for what's happening at Spear and Lincoln.
Yes, so in council offices, we sort of refer to this as the doom loop.
The developers say they won't tear it down until spring of 2025 to make room for a planned apartment building. So until then, the city's used warnings on the doors, health code violations, and a series of small fines to try and get the new owners to care about the once loved building.
The current status is that we have 12 little agencies saying we'll take this part and we'll take this part and we'll take this part, but no one is information sharing.
The Department of Community Planning and Development fined the owners $1,000 for being on the Neglected and Derelict Buildings list. That fine has since grown to a maximum of $16,000 since the building hasn't been fixed. The city's Permitting and Licensing Center shows another $455 fine issued after people broke inside. The developer says they've added security, sealed the doors, and are working on getting rid of the graffiti.
If we have ordinances that are not being properly enforced, let's enforce them. If we have penalties and fees that are too low, let's increase them.
A building once so full of life, now quickly becoming an eyesore.
You just want it to go better the next time.
Councilmember Sawyer tells me she is hoping to introduce a measure next year that would fine developers and owners $1,000 each time that first responders have to come to an abandoned building. Right now, the fine structure is the same for a massive developer who just paid $35 million for land, like in this case, or for a homeowner who has, let's say, graffiti outside. Each would get fined $455 like we've seen if the city deems it a nuisance.
So some essentially nuisance fines, but then also arrests in this case, 3 arrests.
Yeah, so Denver police has arrested 3 people for being inside this building, but they weren't actually called to the building to get these people out. Denver police tells me that they were just training inside the abandoned building, doing some training, and happened to run across these 3 people who had just been handing out inside and said, okay, you're under arrest.
That's it.
It's wild.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. And also we learned a new term today. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a doom loop, you know? But that's
We've all been there.
We've all been in doom loops before. Thank you, Mark.